Welcome back YouTube for another video in my Blind 75 challenge. We're tackling 75 LeetCode questions over 75 days, and we're going to solve the entire Blind 75 list of questions. These are the most common questions asked in interviews for software engineers, and we're continuing on with the section that covers linked lists. Before we get started, don't forget to click like and subscribe so that you can follow along with me. And if you feel so inclined, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I want to hear from you. Are you enjoying these videos? Do you want me to continue covering linked lists? What's the next topic that you want me to cover? We can go with graphs or trees or some dynamic programming questions. You choose. Leave me a comment below and let me know. So with that, let's move on to question 21. This is called Merge Two Sorted Lists, and the question asks us this. You are given the heads of two sorted linked lists, list 1 and list 2. Merge the two lists into one sorted list. The list should be made by splicing together the nodes of the first two lists. Return the head of the new merged linked list. So in example 1, it gives us the two lists, 1, 2, and 4, and then the second list is 1, 3, and 4. And then the answer that we want to return is going to be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So each element in the node is just these two lists spliced together. Example 2 gives us two empty lists and we return nothing. And then example 3 says that the first list is empty, but the second list contains one node that's going to be 0, and the output is just that 0. So this one's fairly simple. We just have to keep in mind 4 different scenarios that we might find as we're iterating through these two lists. The first one is that the node at one of the lists is null. In that case, we're just going to set the next node on that list equal to whatever we have at the other node. We'll do that for 2 scenarios on each list, and then that of course will just signal that we're end of the list for the one that we found the null value in, and all we're going to do is append that other list to the end of the first list. And then if we have true values for list 1 and list 2 as we're iterating through them, we just want to see which one is smaller than the other one so that we can put it in the right positions. That'll cover 2 cases, of course, one being smaller or the other one being smaller, and then we just want to continue iterating through. Let's code up the solution and I'll show you what I mean. So we'll just instantiate a list node, we're going to call it current, and we're just going to make it equal to a new list node. And we'll set that equal to 0 for now. Then we're going to instantiate another list node. We'll call that the result, and we'll just set it equal to current. Then we want to loop while true. So this is just going to keep looping until we break out of the while loop. And we want to set up our scenarios. So the first scenario we want to check for is if list 1 is equal to null, and that means we're at the end of the first list. So what we'll want to do is set current.next equal to list 2. And then we'll just break out because we're at the end of the first list. We just append list 2 to the end of the first list and we're done. Else, what we can do is check to see if list 2 equals to null. And just similarly as the first check, we're just going to set current.next equals to list 1. And then we're going to break out of the while loop. The next scenario that we want to check for is if list1.val is less than or equal to list2.val. Here we're just checking the values to see which one should come first. So what we want to do in this scenario is set current.next equal to list1, and then we'll just move list1 up to list1.next. And in that final scenario, the only other possibility is that the value at list 2 is smaller than the value at list 1. So in that case, we'll just want to do the opposite of what we did in the scenario above. We'll just set current.next equal to list 2, and then we'll move list 2 up to list2.next. And then finally, after we've considered all of these if-else cases, we'll just set current equal to current.next. And then when we've hit one of these top scenarios and we've broken out of our while loop, that means we've reached the end of both lists, we'll just want to return result.next. So we're just taking this current kind of dummy node and just returning the next node, which will be the start of our merged list. Let's submit that and see what it gives us. Oops, just a simple spelling error here. We want to set that to return. Let's submit it again. Great, so a super fast algorithm, as you can see. There's no real magic to this one. You just have to consider all the scenarios, and of course that'll give you the correct answer. And that does it for another question in the Blind 75 list of LeetCode questions. If you're enjoying the videos, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for another question.